What is going on, everybody? Welcome into another edition of Smack Talk here on the Sportskeeda Wrestling Facebook channel and Wrestle Binge by Sportskeeda YouTube channel. Rick Ucchino, SP3, and the wrestling legend himself, Dutch Mantell, here with you guys for a little while. This is mostly going to be Clash at the Castle predictions. This was obviously a pre-taped show today, and judging by our pre-show meeting here today, boy, the panel loved every little bit of it, and I'm sure it's going to be all good vibes all around for however long we are on the air.
Are you saying the show sucked?
I'm saying y'all were trashing the show.
It did suck. I didn't like the show at all. There were a lot of things. Well, I don't know. They didn't do anything. Like Sid said, the last thing was pretty good, but I didn't like the rest of it.
Well, we'll go through a little bit of the matches themselves and then get to Clash at the Castle. Get your super chats in. Get any comment in you want to get read on the air, but the super chats is the best way to guarantee that to get your comment read. But make sure to engage with us. Give this video a thumbs up. We really appreciate you guys tuning in with us on a Father's Day weekend. Happy Father's Day to everybody out there and everybody on the panel. Yeah.
Happy Father's Day, Dutch and Rick.
Yeah.
You guys are great examples for me. I'm the youngest father here, I think. I don't know.
I was gonna say, how old are you?
My kids are 4.
We're right there. I got a 5 and a 3-year-old. So.
Oh, you got a 5-year-old, so you're still older than me. And Dutch is our main example here. So happy Father's Day to both of you.
Oh, you're saying I'm old? That's what you said.
No, I'm saying your kids are grown.
My feelings.
I'm saying your kids are grown.
They are grown.
Oh yes, he's saying you're old.
Rick, I'm gonna remember that.
No, you're not. You're old. Anyway, so we got Ozzy in the chat asking, did KO get a new contract? Not that we've heard of. Still
No.
Set to expire later on this year. Get any other comments, questions you have in. We'll get to as many of them as we can throughout the show. Let's open up with our first match of the night. It was Naomi with Bayley defeating Chelsea Green with Piper Niven. Chelsea's promo was hilarious as usual at the Open, calling both herself and Piper Niven the hometown heroes and always incorporating herself with Piper.
She's great.
I love Chelsea Green. She was great. I like the Dutch, there is wrestling and then there's telling a story inside of a wrestling match. Chelsea is so good at that. Like anytime she hit an offensive maneuver on Naomi tonight, she was like surprised. She was acting surprised that she was actually doing so well in the match. I think she has really found this character.
I taught her well. She's very good. I mean, I would pay for her just to read the phone book, and I'd be happy with that.
Do you see how you just dated yourself? Phone book.
That's an old saying.
I know.
Okay, I'm leaving. I'm out here.
Oh, sweet. Hey, we made it 12 minutes. Good night, everybody. See you.
Come on, Dutch. Shoot on.
You
shoot
two
on.
messages are teaming up. Rick, Sid, I'm really disappointed in you.
What?
Really, because
What?
you're
I'm literally ruining you.
Blowing your nose.
I had soda coming out my nose. I'm sorry. SP3's face when he's like genuinely like insulted by a comment is hilarious to me.
Oh, I'm literally ruining you on. I'm telling you to shoot on him, brother. I'm telling you to shoot.
Okay, accepted. But Rick, you bastard, start the show.
All right, so
Chelsea Green was great tonight.
Yeah,
she's always great.
She tries to get the win by putting her feet on the ropes, but Bayley shoves them off. Piper gets in Bayley's face. Naomi ends up rolling up Chelsea for the win. So Naomi gets a win. Later on in the show, we see a backstage segment with Bayley and Naomi. They run into Blair Davenport, who we see on the show for the first time since she was drafted to SmackDown at the end of March.
That's who that was. What's her name? What's her name?
Blair Davenport.
I wondered who that was.
Well, we saw a promo. Did she ever appear on screen?
Yeah, she did. She was in Nick Aldis's office a couple of weeks ago and had an interaction with Naomi. So
Okay,
that's what that
that
was.
might have been one of the weeks that I missed. All right, so I missed out on that. Okay, regardless, there was a very very interesting spot here though, and it was kind of a blink and you don't miss it. But like as Bayley and Naomi are walking and they're approached by Blair Davenport, there is a spot where you could see that Naomi does not want to let go of Bayley's women's championship, and she slowly takes her fingers off of it before she is crushed by Piper Niven. So. I think
I thought you were gonna. I thought you were gonna mention the part where Chelsea and someone else had to go out of the shot. If you go back to the segment when Naomi and Bayley walk through and they meet up with Blair Davenport, you can obviously see Chelsea and someone else trying to get out the shot. So she.
Oh, really? I missed that.
It was a nice little production botch.
I was gonna say this is a tape show. They should have been able to edit that or reshoot it. I mean, come on. Anyway, whatever. It's wrestling. It doesn't have to be perfect. But regardless, look, I thought Chelsea was great. I thought she was a standout throughout everything to do with this women's title picture tonight. Tomorrow afternoon, though, it's all between Bayley and between Piper. We got 3 acts, 4 talent total from Scotland who are going to be on the show tomorrow. Going to be interesting to see if any of them get a win. I don't think Piper Niven is beating Bayley. I don't think Piper Niven should beat Bayley, but I think she's going to put on a great show. SP3, how do you see this match going down?
I do.
After you, Dutch.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I think Piper needs to beat her. I really do. To me, Bayley she's run her course. How long has she been there? Forever?
Over 11 years.
Okay, well, let's give Piper something. And where's Piper from? UK?
Scotland.
She's from Scotland.
Okay, then I would let her win. Not that I think it's time for her to win anyway. So I'm picking Piper. That's what I'm picking.
I mean, we talked about it last week, and thankfully, this was the first week in a while that I watched the show, and I didn't say, "Oh yeah, Bayley is the WWE champion," because she kicked off the show for the first time since she became champion at WrestleMania. She kicked off the show. I said the same thing about Dynamite this week. It was the first time Swerve kicked off Dynamite as AEW World Champion. This was the first time for Bayley, so it made me be like, okay. I know she's the champion. She's in a prime spot to build up her matchup for the pay-per-view, which I enjoy. As far as the matchup, I think Bayley retains, but I think that because of the atmosphere with Piper being such a hometown favorite, a home country favorite in Scotland, as well as Bayley's popularity with the UK crowd, with the Scotland crowd, I think that it has the potential to be the match of the night and the sleeper of this whole weekend.
Look, I love Piper Niven. I think she's great.
Somebody agreed with me in the chat.
Yes, they did. I think. Look,
thank you.
I will disagree with you. I would love to see Piper Niven win a women's championship one day. I think it's too soon to take it off of Bayley at this point. I think I think that's tap for Nia Jax at SummerSlam. We get a Baron Corbin sighting tonight. First time we've seen him in a hot minute. He's talking with Nick Aldis backstage. All of a sudden, Angel Garza appears with the rest of Legado del Fantasma, calls him a charity case. Nick Aldis issues a fine, yada shit with a blah blah. Santos Escobar says he will handle Apollo Cruz tonight. All right, so we get a Jade and Bianca hype package. Later on in the show, we would get a Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark hype package. And then we would get Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, who are both from Glasgow, Scotland, coming out and getting to cut a very generic promo in front of their hometown. Guys, this seems like an easy retain job as far as Jade and Bianca are concerned. Like, I would have thought maybe, just maybe SP3, they might give a little nugget to the Glasgow crowd by having Alba or Isla beat Shayna or Zoe. But after Alba got choked out in 5 minutes on Raw in like their first match in I don't know how long, yeah, this is Zelina Vega in Puerto Rico all over again. They're just getting booked on the card because they're from there. hopefully they impress some people and they can get on TV more because they're both great. But this seems like an easy retained job for Bianca and Jade. What do you think?
Yeah, you can't take these titles off of Bianca and Jade right now. They feel like the most dominant women's tag team champions that WWE has ever had. And I like
Ever had.
ever. I like Alba. I like Alba and Isla a lot, and my heart wants them to win because I know that the Scotland crowd would love it, and that Scotland crowd is going to be amazing tomorrow based on what we heard on this show. But it didn't sound when they came out for their promo. It didn't sound like they were into Alba and Isla in the same fashion that they were for Piper Niven by comparison, and definitely not the same way they're going to be into Drew McIntyre tomorrow.
Sure.
So they're not going to lose much by having them lose. They get a nice spot on this card. I'm looking forward to the matchup, but I got Jade and Bianca winning.
Yeah, it's almost like the crowd had to be reminded that they were from Glasgow. And then they said, "Oh, your hometown," and the crowd was like, "Oh, hey, they're one of us! Yeah, woo, go them!" Dutch, how do you see this triple threat tag team match going?
No, I agree. I agree with Sid on this one. Yeah, it's Bianca and the blonde-headed girl. They
Jade.
will retain Jade. Yeah. Hey, you said I was old. I can't remember nothing. Yeah, they will take it, and but now we got. But I will say this: who will they beat? Pick that for me.
I would hope they pin Zoe. At least don't give the Scotland girls the actual loss here.
I haven't seen Zoe Stark that much. My God, her and Baszler together, they'd make a train back up and take a dirt road. Damn, I'd hate to meet them in a dark corner. I say, whatever you want, ladies. Let me look at Rick. He's running from it. He's running from it.
I like them both. I do.
No, I didn't say that. I said just.
No, you're talking about how they're tough. We would all get our asses kicked by Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark.
No doubt about it. No doubt.
Wait a minute, Sid. I mean, Rick, you may get your ass kicked. I wouldn't get my ass kicked. Because if I saw them in a dark alley one night, I'm not hanging around and chit-chat. I'd be gone. I'd hit that ankle express. I'm out of there. Then I'd holler out in the next corner, "You didn't get me." That's what I'd do.
Nana, boo, boo.
We get the Grayson Waller effect tonight. DIY, the guest there. And this was a lot of DIY, trying to drive a wedge in between Theory and Waller. They roll some beautiful bean footage. Total missed opportunity for somebody to actually not say, "Roll that beautiful bean footage," however many times they screamed, "Roll the footage." Anyway, regardless, they show the tape from last week where where Grayson Waller pulls Austin Theory in front of Johnny Gargano on the dive, which allowed Waller to get the win. I thought Waller was really, really great here where he said, "That's AI. That's false footage. That didn't actually happen."
I liked it. It was good.
Johnny gets on the mic, and finally he starts diving into his history here with Austin Theory, which is something that I've been waiting for them to do. These guys were together in NXT for a long time before Vince brought Theory up. Look, he says, "I've always believed in Austin Theory, and somebody's got to say it, Hoss. Grayson Waller is using you." That's when Waller attacks. Johnny goes for a super kick. And this was the beauty part of this segment. Theory pushes Waller out of the way and ends up eating the kick. Then Ciampa comes in to hit a running knee, and Waller ducks out of the way again and lets Theory get the double tap tonight. Guys, are we going for an Austin Theory babyface turn? Are they actually going to pull the trigger on this thing? What do you think, Dutch?
Well, they put a lot of time in it. So I think that's what they're aiming for, unless it's a misdirection, but they're putting in a lot of effort into a misdirection. I don't think they'd put that much effort into it if they're not going to do it. But we may be aiming for SummerSlam. Theory versus Waller. And that would be an interesting matchup.
SP3, what do you think?
I was not for this the first week they teased it. I definitely wasn't for it the second week they teased it.
I'm still not
And
for it.
3 weeks in, I'm still not for it
I'm not
because
still
I
not for
don't
it. But
think.
if they're going to do it, I might as well go ahead and go along with it.
Yeah, we might as well accept it now because that's the story that they're running with. But I don't think this is going to turn out well for Austin Theory. I thought that this was the first effective week as far as building to it, with Johnny mentioning he's always believed in Theory, and that, you know, having a babyface say that about a heel will gain some sympathy from the fans. So I appreciate that. But I think that Waller is going to have the more successful career because he's just more of a natural heel. And I feel like Theory excels as the cocky heel. And this company lacks a lot of heel tag teams. Like, how many heel tag teams do they have really outside of like the Gorillas of Destiny, the God in the Bloodline? They really don't have that many heel tag teams on SmackDown, let alone the whole entire company. There's not a lot of over tag teams that are heels like A-Town Down Under. So I don't understand so quickly going to the babyface route. It doesn't make a lot of sense.
I mean, they just put the tag team titles on them. They haven't really defended them. Like DIY are like their first like real big rival. Now, I would understand putting the tag team titles on DIY ahead of SummerSlam in Cleveland. Let Johnny have a big match, get his moment. I get all of that. Maybe even let them win the tag team titles in Cleveland if they decide to elongate this a little bit further. But yeah, I'm kind of in that same boat where I don't know if this is going to turn out well for Austin Theory, but they're going to give him a shot at it, it looks like, anyway. We got Santos Escobar versus Apollo Cruz.
I got a question. Is it DIY or DYI?
DIY. Do it yourself. DIY.
Well, that's DIY. But you said DYI.
I said DIY.
I
definitely
Okay.
said DIY. Anyway,
I don't think he said that, but
I definitely said DIY.
I thought it was DIY.
It is DIY. I definitely said DIY.
You said that. I want you to run this back and listen to it.
All right, I said DIY. Definitely said
Okay.
DIY. Anyway, so we get Santos Escobar versus Apollo Cruz.
I love this show.
Baron Corbin comes down, even the odds, takes out Angel and Humberto, but there's no one to account for Elektra Lopez, who shoves Apollo off of the top rope. Santos rolls up Cruz, gets the win, pulls the tights as well. This was fine. Apollo Cruz, unfortunately, is probably never even gonna win a match. All right, so we get Cody Rhodes and AJ Styles in ring promo. The Glasgow crowd is making it extremely difficult for AJ Styles to talk. Dutch, you were not a fan of this segment, but I did love one portion of it in particular, and I think SP3 will agree with me on this one. When Styles says that basically he's running down how quitting is in Cody's nature, where he said he quit WWE, he quit New Japan, he quit Ring of Honor, he quit AEW, the only company they wouldn't mention by name. And he says, look, when he cannot handle the pressure, when it gets tough, Cody gets going. I thought that was a really good bit there for AJ Styles. And I loved Cody's retort too, where he said he has no problem walking away to chase something greater. He didn't quit. He bet on himself, and he was right. I thought the other good line of this was AJ Styles saying he can't quit being phenomenal. I enjoyed this. I liked the crowd interaction with it. I loved AJ getting a bunch of shit from the crowd in Glasgow. Before we let Dutch air his grievances, SP3, what'd you think?
Yeah, I thought this was a really good promo exchange between the both guys. I thought that, it got a lot of great crowd heat from that Scotland crowd. They loved Cody Rhodes. They were giving a lot of heat to AJ Styles, and AJ Styles spoke a lot of truth that Cody does have a history of quitting. He quit WWE when the going went tough. He quit Ring of Honor and New Japan to start a whole company, and he quit that too. So I like the fact that he did that. I don't know if it made a whole bunch of sense to mention Ring of Honor, which is owned by Tony Khan, and then not mention AEW, that is also owned by Tony Khan. I don't know. I either would have said neither one of those names or both. I don't know. It would add a little something to that to me. as far as me personally as a fan. But I enjoyed this one. What did you think, Dutch?
I thought it sucked, to tell you the truth. The reason I say that, they could accomplish the same thing outside the ring, but when they get in, if Cody is so mad, so pissed off, why didn't he just start ripping into AJ? And they stood there like two idiots, really. And if I was AJ, after all he quit this other stuff, I'd even go back in his high school days. Said I'd do a little research. He quit his high school team and he quit his first girlfriend and he fell off the bicycle learning that. And he has a history of quitting things, and it won't be AJ saying I quit. It's going to be you because you're used to it. You're a natural I quitter. So we'll make that complete public knowledge tomorrow at Clash at the Castle. That's what I'd say.
All right. Who wins tomorrow? Who actually does say I quit?
I think AJ's got to say I quit. I don't know how they're going to, and they're not going to take it off Cody.
SP3?
I mean, I do like the fact that Cody has his mom in Scotland, which gives us the chance to do, a finish like, AJ and the OC threatened Mama Rhodes to make AJ say I quit. But I think that the right decision is to keep the title on Cody Rhodes, because after ending a 1,300-day reign of Roman Reigns, it would feel kind of lackluster for him to lose the championship then 2 months later.
I would agree with that. We got Roland Curtis saying with the super chat, thank you as always. Yes, Bayley has run her course. Obviously, Belair and Cargill are too dominant. Liv Morgan is a transitional champ. Give Belair and Cargill all 4 titles. They can do whatever the hell they want, but I don't think they would do that. I don't think they would do that.
Yeah, I don't see that, but I'm glad you agreed with me. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
We get Nia Jax squashing Mi Chin after Tiffany throws water in her face. Doesn't she have like a title match in like 4 days? SP3 isn't Mi Chin like on NXT this week?
Yeah, she's supposed to be getting a shot at the NXT Women's North American Championship, but
and she gets beaten like 4 seconds. Okay, I'm just okay.
Yeah.
Was it 4 seconds? How long was it really? It's about 2 minutes, right?
It had to be like 2 minutes. Yeah.
2 minutes max. We got Ozzy throwing.
I like Nia Jax as champion. I really do.
I think we're gonna get it sooner rather than later. We get Ozzy saying Bayley will be champion, Cody will be champion, DIY, we the people Dutch.
What's that mean? Ozzy. Did he ask a question there?
No.
He just said something.
I mean, there's no punctuation in any of it, so he might have been asking a question somewhere. I'm not.
Ozzy, he's attacking your usage of English and grammar.
It wasn't an attack. Yeah, I just stated a fact. That's all. We see Logan Paul losing at Tetris. We see LA Knight swimming in Logan's pool.
A 14-year-old beat him.
And Carmelo Hayes intends to win Money in the Bank. What did we make of the use of these 3 gentlemen tonight in Glasgow there, Dutch?
I think it was just to make an appearance. Not much more than that. They just wanted to keep them on TV. And who was the guy Carmelo Hayes?
Yeah.
His interview up in the crowd, and it was okay, but I think it's just to keep them on TV because they didn't really say anything. They just said, "Hey guys, we're still here. We're not leaving. We're not an afterthought, but hey, we're just not on the show." Good.
I was a little confused by, like, literally just LA Knight was just swimming in Dude Bro's pool and that was it. That was the segment. He got him tossed out. Like, that was it. I'm like, bro, you flew all the way to Puerto Rico for that? Like, I was with Carmelo on that. Like, you just flew all the way to Puerto Rico for that? Like, you got nothing. No extra on top of that.
Nothing.
If I'm Logan Paul, I'm jumping in the pool and I'm beating on his ass. Like that's what I'm doing. If I'm Logan Paul, I was expecting way more.
Or at least have security, like a whole bunch of guys pull LA Knight away.
He had one guy go out there, one security guy. That's all he had.
Yeah.
What a cheap ass.
All right, we had Solo Sikoa versus Kevin Owens in the main event tonight. The Tongas were barred from ringside after they attacked the Street Profits earlier on in the night, so it was 1-on-1. And a very interesting segment backstage with Paul Heyman, where it was made abruptly clear if Solo lost tonight, he would be out as the interim tribal chief. And Solo said, if that happens, I am coming after you, Paul Heyman. And Heyman ends up saving his own ass. Like, that was probably the smartest thing that Solo could have said all night, was the fact that he was going to come after Paul Heyman, because he knows Paul doesn't want him there, Dutch. So Paul had to do what he didn't want to do. He had to save him when he lost the match after he got
I'm glad you explained that, because I completely missed that.
Yeah.
If you lose the match, why are you going to go after Paul? I didn't get that. And it's still a weak excuse, to tell you the truth. If I lose,
that's the way that I read into it, is he threatened Paul to make sure that Paul had his back tonight and helped him out if he needed it. Because it would have been very easy for Paul to just let the foot lay on the floor after the stunner and let Kevin Owens win the match tonight. That would have been it.
Yep.
Instead, Paul had to do what he didn't want to do. He doesn't want Solo in charge, but he put Solo's foot on the rope. Kevin Owens comes out. He goes to go put Paul Heyman through the announcer's table. Then he eats a Samoan spike on the outside. He eats another one in the ring. Solo Sikoa wins the match. I thought this was a pretty good main event. I like the story that they told, at least the way I read into it anyway. I like the story that they told at the end. And then we get the Tongas who hit the ring, 3-on-1 assault. And surprise, surprise, Randy Orton comes out to, no shock, a massive pop in Glasgow. So great to see Randy Orton back there, Dutch.
Well, the match was good, really good, I think. And the finish was good, and the follow through was good. So, but I think I cannot wait, and I don't think I'm alone on this. I cannot wait for Roman to get back. I really can't.
That's a sentiment that a lot of people.
When he comes back, he's going to be babyface for a week or two, and then they're going to turn him, and then we'll see. Now we really got something. So I think they're dying to see him and Cody on the same team, on the same side. And it's wide open when he comes back. He can do it because he got heat within his own family. And I think they're really losing the efforts of Paul Heyman in this. But it leaves it open for Paul to turn too. So it's wide open, but good match, but I didn't really enjoy this one that much anyway. I kind of enjoyed where the story is going. And that's why wrestling fans keep watching. We keep watching. Said, well, I didn't like it, but maybe next week it'll be different. Hey, where did Sid go?
I think he's still there.
I'm here. I'm here. It's just the picture I saw was very distorted, but my audio's working perfectly. But so I decided to just cut the camera to save people from seeing me pause every 5 seconds. So I agree with Dutch with the match itself. I feel like I've seen Kevin Owens and Solo Sikoa over the last 2 years 146 different times, and it just felt like one of the 146 times I've seen them wrestle. So it wasn't anything like not their best match. It wasn't their worst match. It was somewhere in the middle. Made Solo look strong in the end, him getting the victory thanks to Paul Heyman. I love Rick kind of telling the story that Paul Heyman being forced to help Solo Sikoa out because he doesn't want Solo to be the leader of the bloodline. So that little backstage segment where he's like, if you lose, these guys are not going to respect you as a leader. And that set Solo up to basically give Heyman the incentive to help him get the win here, in which he did.
All right, guys, we got 2 more matches tomorrow. that I'm very intrigued about for Clash at the Castle. I think these are the two matches that carry the best chance of a title change. Let's start with the Intercontinental Championship match. Sami Zayn defending against Chad Gable. Man, I think this one is going to come down to, well, okay, first off, what is Chad Gable's contract status? Because this is a guy whose contract is supposedly up or was going to be up. The latest reporting was that, many within WWE believed that he was going to re-sign if he hadn't already, but we haven't really gotten any firm confirmation of that. But regardless, he gets an Intercontinental Championship tomorrow. He's going up against Sami Zayn. A lot of this has been built around Alpha Academy and whether or not they're really going to stand by Chad Gable. Otis owes this man a beatdown, and it has been dragging on for a little bit too long now. SP3, I feel like Otis is finally going to turn on Gable tomorrow, but I think at the same time, he's going to end up costing Sami the match. Does that make any sense? Could you see that going down the same way? I feel like Chad needs to win it, but at the same time, I feel like Otis needs to turn on Gable. So I don't know if there's a way to do them both at the same time.
I think Alpha Academy walks out on Gable, and the Creed brothers help Gable win the Intercontinental Championship.
That would be the way to do it. That'd be a good way to do it.
Yeah.
Dutch, what do you think? I know you don't watch Raw a whole lot.
I can't watch Raw. I'm forbidden in my contract to watch them. So that's what I got to depend on you guys to tell me what happened. But Chad Gable is a star in the making. I think he has a lot of potential because just the way he is. He's not only a great wrestler, but he has a great personality. So, and a lot of Kurt Angle in him. So I don't care what they do here. It's not going to hurt Gable at all. I think it may be a little early for him to take it. So, and the people, they'll pop when Sami wins. And then they tell the rest of the story with the Alpha Academy and Gable. So I will say Sami retains on this one.
I think somehow, some way, Gable is going to walk out with the Intercontinental title tomorrow. I think Sami will win it back down the road, maybe even at SummerSlam. I just think it's Chad's time. The man's been in the company for over 10 years now. He's never had a singles title. He's really coming to his own with this heel character.
He's been there that long?
Yes.
Oh, well,
yes.
I retract my statement. Yes.
I mean, he's gone through multiple tag teams. He went through that god-awful run as Shorty G. I mean, he's been with the Alpha Academy for what, 3 years now? SP3, am I remembering that correctly?
I think it started like 2021. Yeah, 2021, 2022. And plus, Gable's contract reportedly expired last Friday. So I think that's the whole reason that he stuck around, is to win the Intercontinental Championship. And he's probably going to sign a new deal this weekend.
That would be spectacular on all counts. Another super chat from Roland Curtis. Thank you so much. Maybe WWE watches your show. I mentioned recycling the Cody Seth trilogy last week, and AJ referenced the trilogy today. Recycling isn't necessarily a bad thing. I liked I liked AJ Styles doing the fake retirement bit. I mean, everything nowadays there's only like 7 stories you can tell. Everything is
that's it. 7 stories.
Yep. There's an iteration of everything, and like you're just changing subtle things here or there and going back and switching people out. So everything is sampled in one way or the other. What I think is I mean, Drew's got to be the main event tomorrow, right? In Glasgow. I think that's got to be the final match on the card. Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest for the World Heavyweight Championship. This one's going to be very, very interesting to me. Right now, according to BetOnline, Drew is a very, very slight betting favorite over Damian Priest. I just don't know if Drew ends up winning this one. I think the hometown heroes go 0 for 3 in their matches. I think all of them lose because unless CM Punk is not going to be healthy enough to compete at SummerSlam, I just don't know if it makes sense to put the title on Drew when Gunther is already guaranteed a title match in Cleveland. Should it not be Damian Priest versus Gunther? You can have Damian lose that match if you want him to drop the title, over the summer at some point. And then Drew and Punk in Cleveland. Wouldn't that not make more sense, SP3?
I get you can make sense of anything in wrestling, and that does sound all right, but I think that it would just be a bad decision in having Drew McIntyre lose again in the UK at Clash at the Castle. I think that the right finish is to have, since Punk is there, we've got that report from bodyslam.net over the weekend. You have Punk come out. Drew's about to use the World Heavyweight Championship. Punk takes it away from him, and he pulls a Shawn Michaels SummerSlam 1997 finish. He goes to hit Drew with the title, and instead hits Damian Priest. Claymore on Punk, Claymore on Priest. 1, 2, 3. Drew McIntyre becomes a World Heavyweight Champion, and then he goes through the crowd. He blows Punk a kiss, and he celebrates in Scotland.
That would be great. That would be some poetic symmetry there. I don't know. I just feel like Damian really hasn't had an opportunity to get going with this thing, and I feel like it would be kind of pulling the rug out from under him a little too soon. I don't know. I think depending on how they do it, I think I would be okay either way. But Dutch, what do you think?
No, I think Drew, he lost the last Clash at the Castle, right? So
yeah, he got screwed. Yeah,
and he's probably their biggest star they got. I think he goes over, and I do like to finish with it's Sid laid out there. It matches up. And I think Drew walks out with the belt and another angle. Or continues his angle with CM Punk.
If Drew wins the belt tomorrow.
I like Damian Priest a lot.
Go ahead. I like him a lot too, but I think he's got his own angle within his own faction. So I would swap that belt over. They got, like I've said, they got 52 weeks. They can shoot that belt back and forth if they want to.
I was going to say, it would be on a course for a hot potato if Drew wins this thing tomorrow, because I don't think there's a prayer that Gunther doesn't walk out of Cleveland with that bad boy, right? Like, am I nuts in thinking that Gunther's going to lose his first world title match?
I really like Damian Priest. I'm a fellow New Yorker like Damian Priest, but it's been 2 months, and I think the real issue, Monday Night Raw has been a good show, but the real issue is that they don't have a main star. He's had the opportunity to kind of fill that role, and he just hasn't felt like that. He's felt more like a mid-card champion. A lot of that has to do with his booking and not anything on him, but it is what it is. I think that it is time to put the title on Drew because he feels like a guy that can be the main star on Monday Night Raw.
Thank you, Sid. Thank you. Finally. Okay, go ahead.
I think Damian Priest wins tomorrow. All right, that's it. That's what we got. SP3, what you got? So with the show tomorrow, are you doing True Heel Heat tomorrow? Yes, no, maybe?
Yes, we are. We're starting 1 hour earlier, 10:05 a.m. Eastern Time. The True Heel Heat Flagship Podcast. It'll be myself, Miss Christy Love, True Jaw Josh, talking about this week in wrestling with Hikuleo leaving New Japan and possibly joining the Bloodline in WWE. You got Ricochet fallout from his write-off on Raw, and Jeff Hardy leaving AEW to possibly show up in TNA probably in a couple of minutes. Who knows? But we'll talk about it all on the flagship tomorrow, 10:05 a.m. Eastern Time.
Dutch, what you got going on?
Well, email me. Dirty Dutch Mantell with 2 L's at gmail.com. I usually answer all the emails I get. So, and this is an interesting card, and we can sit back and we can talk about it till the cows come home. But who's right? Well, that's why we watch the show. So that's all I got going on. This show and I got to go out and go to the bathroom in a minute. I got that going on.
I think that's a perfect place to stop. Thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. Short and sweet. We'll be back next Friday at 10:10. Take care, everybody. Have a good weekend. Happy Father's Day to everybody.